So we are here in Chicago covering the DNC because Democrats are attempting to do something unprecedented, which is to swap out one nominee or presumptive nominee for another in the middle of a campaign, and rolling out a number of her policy positions after she accepts her party's nomination. As with our daily coverage of the RNC, each day this week, we will continue our series looking in depth at how the presidential candidate's policies would directly impact Colorado. This is Decision 2024, the stakes for Colorado. And tonight, our Marshall Zellinger looks at the impact a Kamala Harris presidency could have on Colorado's air, land, and water.
Colorado lawmakers have put restrictions in place to make fracking more difficult in the state. As a presidential candidate, Kamala Harris appears to have changed her stance on fracking. Her campaign has said she would not ban fracking on federal lands, which includes parts of Colorado. But that's not what she said herself in a 2019 CNN town hall when she first ran for president.
There's no question I'm in favor of banning fracking. We have to just acknowledge that the residual impact of fracking is enormous in terms of the impact on the health and safety of communities.
Harris's campaign now says she does not want to ban fracking, which would require help from Congress anyway.
A president doesn't have the power to ban fracking anyway. So saying you're going to ban fracking was an empty promise back in 2019.
Kathleen Skama is the president of Western Energy Alliance, which for 50 years has represented oil and gas producers in the Rocky Mountains. With Harris previously saying she would ban fracking, Skama sees a larger issue.
It means that they are hostile to oil and natural gas producers, and that they're going to do everything to overregulate us and try to put us out of business as much as they can.
She's able to open the narrative finally to what does environmental justice look like for a climate just society.
Renee M. Chacon is a Commerce City councilwoman living close to the state's largest polluter, Suncor. She's seeking environmental justice, something Harris has pursued throughout her career as a California district attorney, attorney general, and U.S. senator. So what is environmental justice to Chacon?
Our ability to be able to have our civil rights met, to be able to breathe clean air, drink clean water, live in a clean space, and educate our children with true sovereignty for indigenous communities that still live in the urban corridor we still call Denver.
This administration has really been prioritizing environmental justice and addressing climate change.
Casey Becker is the EPA Regional Administrator for Region 8, which covers these Rocky Mountain states. She explained how the Biden-Harris administration is putting environmental justice into action in disadvantaged communities.
When we've been implementing things like the Clean School Bus Program or lead service line replacement, we are prioritizing the communities that need it most.
But that is the Biden-Harris administration, not the Harris administration.
She hasn't done any interviews. She hasn't done any press conferences. So I'm not 100% sure that anybody really knows what her policy statements are.
Republican Weld County Commissioner Mike Freeman is not sure what to be worried about yet. But we do know Harris was the tie-breaking vote in the Inflation Reduction Act that put a focus on climate change and electrification, resulting in $140 million in home energy rebates for Coloradans.
Whether we want to get away from fossil fuel at some point, whether that's a good thing or not, time will tell. But I think you can get in too big of a hurry to get there.
I think she's going to have to answer some specific questions about her energy policy and other policies to satisfy the voters so they know that what choice they're making.
This would be a heck of a lot easier if the Kamala Harris for President website had something that most campaign websites have. Usually an issues tab up here, or at the very bottom, something about issues or about us or what we stand for, something that tells us some of the meat that she will bring as possible president, Kyle, something that tells us what people would be voting on besides the person. We need to know the policy as well.
Yeah, we can assume it's just going to be a follow-through of the Biden-Harris administration policies, but we know it's not going to be that in every case, which is why we and other journalists will continue to keep asking questions, and this series will continue. Marshall, thank you. You can see our entire Decision 2024, the Stakes for Colorado series, right now on 9news.com in the next section, and there you'll find the 5 in-depth reports we did on Donald Trump's policies during the Republican National Convention.